G'day, welcome back to Bite-Sized Bhagavad Gita with Sadhu. Sorry, I just adjust the volume on the old digital. Bite-Sized Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 9. Chapter 9 is entitled The Secret Yoga or the Most Confidential Yoga. And there is a very strong philosophical reason behind the claiming of such an epic title. And I will give hints as to the kind of ramifications that such a secret would expel. So, bit of background knowledge for the bite-sized Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna is facing a kind of moral dilemma, and Krishna is his dear confidant. Krishna is sort of helping Arjuna to dispel any doubts that he has upon performing his duty. And Krishna then has explained that there are different modes or methods according to one's particular karma. So one has to find their own dharma after getting involved with the karma. Essentially, what one is striving to do is to come to a platform where you can clearly and confidently step forward, do action, and not have to suffer the reactions, be they good or bad. Okay. So you can sort of take a tenet from that as ye sow shall ye reap. There is a question that has risen, however, that's pretty much on point, okay, and it's this: that how is one to completely invest all of one's time, energy, and effort into an inconceivable, immaterial, non-conceptual entity? Well, this is a story about a blue boy who lived in a blue house, and all day and all night, and everything he sees was just blue, like him, inside and outside. Yes, Krishna, whether we know it or not, is actually what old man for all time has attained or strived to aim for. To make divisions, there are three main types of aspirants on the path: those who are poorly misguided, those who are wealthy and misguided, and pretty much those who are curious or borderline mad. So each one sort of comes onto the path with a different type of expectation of what is to be attained, and Krishna rewards them to get rewards therefrom. I think the idea would be to kind of give all you can into this image, one stable, non-time bound, unaffected by any type of constraint, particularly those arrows of the intellectual world, word games, as Heidegger and the philosophers have said. To invest completely into something like that, a threshold gets crossed and faith is bought into. And Krishna says, at the end of the kalpa, and all beings come back to me as though wind were to return to the ether. Really, what I think the beauty of the Bhagavad Gita is in chapter 9, there is a direct potential for perceptibility of the self within the very words. It's in the sentences. And the Bhagavad Gita is a song. You're hearing, and there are bars, and it's almost like Vyasa has put this secret right in the center of the Bhagavad Gita. My favorite is chapter 16 to 19, when Krishna is trying to describe himself once again, not trying to, he's clearly just showing off, but you wait until later on to see that. I am the performer of the fire sacrifice. I am the fire itself. I am the sacrifice, the clarified butter, and I am the enjoyer of the sacrifice. So once one is able to actually take this knowledge and bring an experiential dimension into it, you're just lighting the faith, your torch, and pouring forth into the world, like, as if you haven't noticed this already. The Gita gives its own kind of authority. If science happens to be the benchmark of authority these days due to the fall of alchemy in the 17th century, well, then yoga is very much a science in the way that it incorporates the method. It's a meditation on truth, a meditation like it is what this theory is true or not. Open the eyes and explore the world with the senses. The beauty, though, is that there is such a large dimension. As Krishna says, you can't understand me in my universal form. I'm inconceivable. You can try and understand me with the demigod's aid, but the moon compared to the stars is my perceptibility. And it's a very humanistic science. It's an understanding of life from the point of view, not as like man is carrying a burden of being the one who's perceiving things, man and woman, but like the understanding of all we have is our senses. So the apparatus itself is what has to be understood because of its own lagging frame rate, to put it in a understandable form. And Krishna is always human. He took the personification of a human to get his message across. Right, so it's a yoga. Then, like, the theory is understood and gone out into the world. This is what I think is real, and all my faith has been ingested, and what is to come back is not expected anything. If I am to give, this is my secret, then the receiver has to be of the same aptitude. So I'm sort of giving a receiver as well. Yeah, right. And to come back to that kind of steady understanding, I'm not expecting anything like that, because it's up to him, really, it's up to him what is to be returned, for better or worse. The fruit is not something we're involving ourselves in. If it were the case, then I'd be expecting too much of my common man, and we're all at different paths, and we're all dancing around the fire in different ways. The face of life is Krishna, the seed, the eternal seed, the original fragrance of the earth, the image of death, the cause of heat and rain. And so I suppose anything that we're striving to give with sincere intention, it's accepted. It's actually accepted. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 29. A flower, a leaf, a water. How one makes progress on this path. How one makes progress on this path. The degree to which the heart is pure, the more revelation internally can be exported externally, and the sincerity of the gift, the sincerity of the sacrifice is taken aboard. So that's everything for me for today. It's taken about 5 takes to get this right. I mean, how to tell a secret online, if you know, you know. If you don't, you sort of got a hint to what I'm pointing at, and I'm just doing the best I can, isn't it? You want to know more, just try and see me everywhere, as Krishna says at the end of the Gita. All forms full of material potency, as he glazes upon the material manifestation, and she gets agitated and causes all things to be animate. It's a very big dance, I know, and it's just a small microcosm that we can see a part of. Lifetime after lifetime, this has been all carried on, the waves, and we're just seeing small parts of it recapitulated as the eternal sprung forth from the Creator's bosom. And I'm not even trying to get on par with the Creator. All these servants, that's what we're just trying to serve, is the ultimate aim. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thanks for tuning in, and hope to see you next week. Bye.